Hello everyone. We are back with a new series of mock interviews. In the previous video, we had conducted a interview with Mr. Swapnil Gwalherkar, who is a senior iOS developer in Essentia in Pune. So today we'll be conducting a mock interview to let you people know about how the questions are asked in a interview to this level. So let's start. Welcome, Swapnil. And shall we start?
Yes. You can. Okay.
So, can you explain the difference between value types and reference types in Swift and give examples of each?
Mhm. So in the reference of language Swift, my background and story has always been in Swift. So I would be we are talking about the talking about the structure versus class or reference type versus value type. So value type is something in any programming language is value types are something that are stored in stack memory, as well as value types are something uh, we can consider our primitive data like integer, float, or anything. They are also our value types only, but at the same time we can customize uh, our need. As per our need, we can create a custom data types by using structures. Basically structures are something that are easy to be easy memory efficient in the sense, because they are stored in stack memory. So simple push pop operation happens for any initializing or deinitializing the object of value types or the structures. Basically here in the case of the reference type, if we talk about the classes in the Swift, classes are called as so called as reference types. So classes are something which have another different new facilities to add on. They have inheritance as a concept. We can add uh, like a inheritance as a concept. We have all the object oriented programming concepts implied into a class. So a class is something which can be associated with a real world object, but at the same time structures are something that that are dummy, like they cannot have a real uh, like real world application on the or a lot of things like so there are
That's what
advantages
I'm
and
asking.
disadvantages.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
is what my next question is. What are the benefits of using value types over reference types?
Mhm. Yeah. So value types would for the for the uh, for the scenarios where we have to store something or handle the data, customize our data type, handle or create models or something. For that purpose, we would be using the structures. Definitely in Swift, as an advanced language, there has been new features coming up. So structure have become over, like utilization of value types has become more prominent now. So nowadays even they are being used for newer things, like Swift has they like change the way we think about the value types. Now even views and any objects are being used as a structure now by um, adding the uh, new property wrappers into it, by adding mutating values, like by using the at the rate state, at the rate state object kind of variables basically. So by that structure has become more utilizable. And yeah, so in the case of uh, saves, but in in this time, at this time also, utilization, advantages of star class doesn't, classes are also important. Classes have, we cannot, अरे यार फिर ये तो मैं बहुत सारी चीजें बोले जा रहा हूँ.
Okay, okay, no problem.
हम्म,
Then, how do structs and classes differ in terms of memory allocation and copying behavior?
Memory allocation. So basically, structures, like I said, memory of, structure value types are stored in stack memory, but in the case of reference type, they are stored in heap memory. So for value types, like in another languages, value types are have addresses. They have another mechanism to manage, like ARC, like mechanism is there in Swift to manage their memory allocation, deallocation, and everything. ARC is something that is called as automatic reference counting. So here, reference
I
counting is being managed.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to interrupt, Swapnil.
Mhm.
I'm want you to, while explaining any topic, I want you to give some real life examples. Like whenever
Mhm.
I'm asking about inheritance or something, we have some
Mhm.
real world examples. So, if
Mhm.
possible, will you relate those examples with your
Mhm.
answers? So it would be more
Mhm.
easier for the audience also to understand what the concept is.
Mhm. Sure.
Okay. So they can
Mhm.
apply the things what they are listening about. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now comes my next question. What
Mhm.
is an optional in Swift and why is it useful?
Okay. So optionals are a way of, an advanced feature in Swift, which helps us in having a special kind of variable. It's a special facility in Swift, which lets us use any instance variable, any variable that we are creating in a, define a variable in a special kind of way that is called as optional variable. So if we are creating an optional integer, so it will either have a integer value or it will have a nil value.
Is it
So
possible, Swapnil, to share your screen and can you create an optional variable and explain?
sure. Mm, host is not allowing,
Okay.
so we'll have,
Okay, wait.
mhm,
Hmm.
sure. 1 second. Is it visible?
Yeah, screen is visible. Can you increase the
Mhm.
font size if possible?
Mm, 1 second. One second. Please. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. सेव नहीं हो रहा है वीडियो पर
Hmm.
यार it will take time हाँ हो गया okay nothing so solitaire also yeah.
Okay, let it be.
Mhm.
Now it's usable.
Mhm.
Just show a demo of options how you can use them.
Let's say we are trying to create an index variable with which is an optional integer basically.
Okay.
So for this we set it to 0 and we yeah, so basically if we try to print it this way. Basically this variable that we have created, we have set it as optional. So if we try to print it, like it will have a value 0, but in the case if we try to set it to nil, we can, like this way it is printed also that it is an option. So we always have to we have a facility of, if we can, if we want to, we can put a condition, let index equals to index. So basically this can be put in a in if condition also, that this variable that we have created, if this variable has a value, then
I want you to use a scenario where you can use optional variables.
okay.
Like you know about structures, wherever where in C++, we use structures for creating a student structure and which we store their data. So I want a simple scenario where you can use optional variables.
Okay. So let's try to create a student structure only, wherein we would be having the different kind of information. We could have let's say uh, roll number. So since a roll number is something that is always going to have a value, so we won't be making it optional. We, let's say user is going to have a name, so name here I'm making it let, because once initialized they will always stay the same. Roll number is not going to change. Name, for now I am not making it changeable. Yeah. And let's say um marks or something that is integer. We can have an optional value for
Email ID.
mhm. email ID can be optional, so we are putting it as a string. Yeah, so basically this can be set as optional. So
Once
in
you
this
place a
case,
question mark over there, that is an optional variable.
yes. So whenever we try to initialize, like we can for structures we can have a designated initializer, like
Now
a designation.
simply you can assign the values to those variables and you can print those values, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I wanted. Yeah, I'm satisfied. No problem. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what you are doing. I just wanted to know what you are doing.
Yeah, like we can have this. So in the case, just like we discussed, like student, whenever we are trying to initialize this value, we can either, like roll number is something that is always going to be initialized. So let's say it's 100. Name is uh, and marks are 90. So if we want, we can set email as email. Let's say. So if we want to initialize it with the email, then we will have this, and else we won't.
Okay, this is how you can use optional variables. Like if you
Mhm.
want to, like if you're filling some form, so there are
Mhm.
some text, some entries are mandatory and some are not. So that is where you
Yeah,
use optional variables. So my
yeah,
next
yeah,
question
yeah.
is,
Mhm.
like how do you safely unwrap an optional variable and provide different methods?
Mhm. Yeah. So in this case, like if we have this stu object, we want to unwrap. Uh, Basically, we want to access the email value. So let's say we are trying to do it print email. So this is a value which is right now if I print it, it will be printed as an optional string. But if I want this string to be a proper string, what I can do is one way that we discussed here is if let email equals to stu dot. This is the simplest way we can unwrap an optional.
So
There
what
are
is
another ways.
so
Yeah.
what is the meaning of unwrap here?
Unwrap is basically to access the value as it is, like a strong variable, or say
Okay.
uh, strong value, like
And
and
how
I
can we
don't know.
provide the like how can we provide the methods to it?
uh,
Is it another way to provide methods to it?
methods, like what we are trying to do, methods to it.
Means you can simply print and you can simply use print method, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
you can definitely print it like the same string, but now when we print it after unwrapping it, it will have a proper original string. It won't be an optional string now, basically,
Okay.
in this case. So that is a difference.
Just a minute.
But
Yeah.
Hmm. So in this case, if it was a nil value or if it we didn't set this string, then uh, we won't be having the value, so it would not go into the in the if condition. So basically, this allows us to have an optional value, and unwrapping is something that is needed in the cases when we want a clear value, like the places where we can do it. Like unwrapping can be done using different ways. Like we could do it using simple setting a default value to it. If it doesn't have a value, we could set a default value and then unwrap it. Like if I do this way, then right now it will print a empty string.
Okay. Okay. So, do you know anything about guard?
Yeah, yeah. So in this case, we can also use guard. Guardlet is something like if we are trying to have written a big met- method, let's say we have created a function, uh, get details of the so in this case, mm, if in this case, if we want to put a condition, so what we were trying to say is like if guard statement can be used in a, I am trying to make it explain in a better way. Let say uh, we are trying to get the detail of all the values of the student object, and we want to like print it in a specific manner. Like we want to print uh, stu dot stu dot name kk is मतलब we are trying to use every value of it, and image is also compulsory in this method. Like if we want if we are printing this get detail, then it should print it like the complete all the details of the object. So in that case, we would be using a guard statement. Let guard let equals to uh, email, and here stu dot email, if we are getting this value, then it would go ahead and use email as a initialize email as a email string. Else case, it will return sorry return. So basically it will stop the method execution from here.
Okay.
Basically it needs to return something. If there is a return statement here, like if the method is returning something, then we will have to return that thing. Like if right now method is returning void, if it is returning student object again.
Okay.
or like say string something. So we will have to return some string here,
Okay, okay,
basically,
that is
like
fine.
or array.
So let's move to next question, Swapnil. What is optional chaining?
Optional chaining. So for any like if you are trying to access a value inside like chain of the objects, like if we have a student object, we have inside we have another object of let's say obj a class, and that is also optional. In the same way, in the class A, there is which is having uh, index int as an optional. So to access this value index, we will have to access in the form of a chain. Like we will be accessing the s- will be accessing a first we will be accessing the object obj, then access the object index. So to access it, we will be using the question mark dot, and then from there, like there is a chain of uh, question marks that we are going to use for, so that way this concept is explained as a optional
Okay,
chaining.
okay.
Mhm.
So the next question over here is, what is the difference between stored properties and computed properties in Swift?
Mhm. So
Like when would you
basically,
use computed property instead of stored property?
mhm. Stored properties are normal instance variables. Computed properties are properties which can be which defines computation. Basically, if we have created any variable, and if we want it to be related with some other variables, like if it depends on another variables, like say uh, detail here is dependent on name. Sorry, like it depends on another variable. So computed property basically is something that like computes always computes like a value for us. In the same way, like instance variable is used, we can access the computed property, like stored property, like we are talking about the stored property and computed properties. So just like we access the stored property, we can access the computed property, but computed properties have a like definition. So every time we are trying to access it, it would compute a result and then have a value, instead
Correct.
of just like stored property, it will be already
Correct.
there.
So my next question is, can you explain how property observers work? When would you use them?
So properties observers are just a facility for in the cases of any instance variable or any computed and any instance property or computed property. We can basically observe a value being changed at a time. So like we will have a did set and will set method example. So whenever value is being set, like already just after a value is set, like if we are setting this detail value, so after the value is being set, this did set method is being called. Whenever we change a value, post the value is being changed, the did set method is will be called, and just before a value is being set, will set will be called.
Okay.
That is will set.
Okay. Okay, so we are done with this these topics. So for next topics, we'll be meeting in the next video. So
Mhm.
thanks for watching, everyone, and please type awesome in the comment box if you like this video, and please like, share, subscribe to your friends, your circle, and in your WhatsApp groups. Thank you. Thank you, Swapnil. See
Mhm.
you in the next video.
Mhm. ठीक है